Hello to all our Metroids and wider community. My name's Trent and I'm the CEO of Metrix Coin. Today I've got the absolute pleasure to introduce a brand new video series that we're producing called Blockchain Chronicles. We're going to invite as many guests onto this series as possible and delve into some really interesting topics within the crypto space. Here's a few points that our team would like to cover over this series. Now I'll need to read these ones to you. Crypto, real world use cases, support to the blockchain community, how this technology can help the wider community, latest developments in the crypto space, what are the newest fads and why, how crypto has transformed businesses today, the power of blockchain technology, who are the winners already in this newly created space, and as you can imagine, the list goes on. This video series is not going to be specifically about Metrix Coin. However, we will be talking to some of our partners throughout this series and also just try to get a better understanding from their point of view. If you've got any topics or any points that you'd like us to cover, please comment below. Now, joining me in the hot seat is my co-team founder, Chris. Welcome, buddy.
Hey, thanks, buddy. I guess I've seen the list of upcoming guests, so I'm pretty excited to be number one.
Well, we had to start somewhere, and I thought we're better to start than you.
Thanks, buddy.
So I guess to start with, maybe tell us a little bit more about yourself and your background prior to your crypto life.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess I was son of a bank manager here in Australia in Westpac Bank and travelled all around Queensland basically. In bank life, in every 2 years you move on to a new town. So a really good sort of family life, taught me the basics in money, business, all the things you'd like to teach your kids, I guess. And yeah, really good youth. So from day one, I've been into business and creating businesses from 5-year-olds selling flowers out of the mum's garden. Work your way up and probably owned 20 to 30 businesses over my time, and some not great, some fantastic. But always enjoyed the journey of business and how business works and how you build teams and all of that side of things.
Yeah, fantastic. That would have set you up well for obviously where your life's taken you today. So how about crypto? What was it that got your interest in the crypto space?
Well, I guess amazingly, like everybody, it's someone telling you about it again and again until you finally listen. I guess for me, it was my mechanic, Todd, who's a great friend now. And you take your car in there and he'd say, this is early 2017, and say, I made $200 today, and you're like, oh, that sounds all right. I'll look at it, and you don't look at it. You go back a month later, and because I had a pretty dodgy car back then, I was in there. But I'd go back and he'd go, I made 2,000 since I saw you last. And I think after about 4 or 5 visits, you're like, all right, I've got to look into this. And you go online, do the usual things of signing for exchanges, and really that run up for 2017 just got everyone excited. How could you not be? But to be part of that, yeah, just once you're in, you're hooked.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can hear how happy my dog is. I mean, she's hooked on this as well. She just sits here and just every time I'm doing it, he loves to. Yeah. Well, leading on from that, I mean, how did you become a core team member of Metrix? I mean, it's a story in itself.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess Cryptopia was the exchange back then for Linda Coin, and you bought it 1 sat, and next day it's 2 sats, 4 sats. So I thought I'd better check out what's actually happening with this coin. So I went into the Discord where most people end up landing, and really spent the time and got to know the coin. Tried to get on the team, and they weren't really interested, to be honest. So then what like I normally do, my theory is to add value to anything you do, and you'll get noticed eventually. So I just started answering questions, Googling the answers if needed, building websites and answer bots and kind of things that sort of just add value to the project. and then I sort of saw the market opening for my staking wallet sort of product.
Yep.
And so I went to Jonah, who was the CEO at the time, and said, this wallet is what is needed in crypto. It could fund the team. It's perfect. He said, no, I hate it. Don't like it. So I met with my mate Grunge, who's a developer, who people in Metrix will know, and said, how much is this thing going to be to build? And he said, 2 million Linda. And I thought, okay, that's a bargain. So said, yeah, we got approval, let's do it. So he went about building that for 6 months, and it was ready. And I went back to the team and I said, guys, here's my staking wallet. And they loved it at this point. They're like, well, that's amazing. I said, only condition is I'm on the team, I'm part of this, and we can take this thing forward. So
well done.
work myself on. In my theory in life is just, if you deliver value, people can't ignore you for long. So you just got to keep at it until you get where you want to get to.
Yeah, absolutely. So true, isn't it?
Yeah. And I've seen that with you, I guess, with the things you're achieving is just keep banging on the door until someone opens it up. Previous team members have said that's impossible, and I think people see coming up soon that the impossible is now possible. Just keep knocking on the door.
It is. I mean, some people, they knock on the door, they get rejected, and they say, oh, well, it's not going to work. But my theory is it's a door. Keep knocking on it. And if no one answers it, just open it. It's a door. Well, they're either
going to call security or they're going to open the door.
And either way, you've got their attention.
Yeah, absolutely. It's worked well for me, and I see it in you too. It's just delivering.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, talking about that, what are the future plans in this space?
In crypto, I think the future plans are massive. I think everyone's talking about when's the next bear market, but that's such short-sighted vision. I think crypto is going to absolutely change every little bit about society, governments, banking, finance, real estate. Every little element's going to be injected with crypto in some way. So I think to worry about when the next bear market is, it's a bit short-sighted. Yeah, you want to try and catch the top and grab the bottom if you can, but if you look longer term, this thing's got so much juice in it, and so many ways it can improve life and society, and really change government of the world. It's look at the big picture, and you're like, well, I probably can't risk selling too much. If I can catch a top grade, but just don't miss that what's coming in the next time. I think crypto and the exciting things coming out in crypto every week. There's developments. There's more and more people working on it. It's just massive. Yeah,
that's so true. Well, talking about that, I mean, where do you see this whole space going over the next, say, I don't know, 5 years, 10 years?
I think 5 to 10. Well, 10, it's going to be built into everything we do. I guess 5 years has got to sort out who the real players are and who the jokers are. I think the last report I read, there was 8,000 cryptos with all the IPOs and IFOs coming out each day. That's probably at 12,000 now. I don't know a number, but there's not space for 12,000 successful cryptos to be operating. So I think the next 5 years is really going to work out who's a serious player, who's just trying to catch a IFO that makes the money or an IPO. And I think we're going to find out as time goes on. And I think we'd be in the top 200 now with market cap if we get CMC to report fully, which is on the list. But being in the top 200, we're in that prime position to just really ride this future next 5 years. Is just going to be unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. And not being the series that we're talking too much about Metrix, but it'd be great if we could just share everything that we're working on with our Metroids at the moment. I mean, we've certainly got a bit going on.
Oh, absolutely. I think like the list for the next 3 to 6 months, the next couple of quarters, we've got an exchange listing that's going to take us from, small time, just this one exchange listing. It takes us to mainstream, available to the masses that are into this crypto space.
Yeah.
That in itself is huge. We got GMG coming out shortly, which is going to be a standalone platform that on its own right is an absolute winner. which is going to bring people into Metrix. It's going to really propel us forward as a standalone use case on its own. If you weren't doing any of that other stuff that people may or may not know about, just on its own, GMG is like, wow, that's a massive coin in itself.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess we're doing some other exciting exchange listings we haven't talked a lot about, but in the DeFi space, which I think will, they're just going to be no-brainers, and people will be very excited to see DeFi listings, which is on our roadmap.
Yes.
And the NFT platform. Now, NFT is something I'm really, really into. If you look at where it's heading, it might be a bit sort of glitchy at the moment and a bit fancy, and everyone's jumping on to buy crazy artwork. But the core of a token that you can't break up, which is what it is in its infancy, is just a core that you can't, a token, that you can't separate. It can be used for movie tickets and cinemas and music tickets and all kinds of ticketing, but then other artwork. You add in virtual reality into that, and you can have a gallery with all of your purchases you could walk your friends through. You could have AC/DC. That's a real Australian band for you there. An AC/DC.
I'm glad you explained that.
Yeah, it's just a band that Trent would love, I imagine. He's more of a Gaga fan, I think. But you can have a Lady Gaga gallery of the merchandise you've purchased, and you could have an NFT of Lady Gaga welcoming you, a custom NFT where she welcomes you into your gallery.
That would give me a poker face.
And that's the tip of the iceberg of what NFTs can do. And our platform, all the back end's been done. We're just doing the front end now to sort of connect and make it all work. But that's been in the works for over a year now. Yeah. And that on its own, super exciting where we're heading with that. And I can't give too much away, but it's going to be a real game changer in NFT. And I guess from that, payment gateways, which I don't want to get too much info out on what you've achieved there, but payment gateways coming in is going to change the on-ramp and off-ramp for Metrix, which links into GMG, which links into every other bit we're doing, and links to the partnerships that Luca and yourself have put together. I'm sure I'm not allowed to mention any names there, but how can you not mention any names when you hear them? And the proposals we're putting together as a team to these companies, like, just mind-blowing. The companies that are sitting down with us, looking at how we can integrate our blockchain. That's just a quick overview of the next 6 months. Like, how can that not excite anybody?
Yeah, well, this is true. I don't think our Metroids and the wider community can actually get a full scope of what's going on because of the NFAs and the non-disclosures and what have you at the moment. But it will come out, and I'd also like to share some of the proposals that we're putting up to these companies, with their permission. But obviously we can't do that at the moment, but as time goes on, and just so the community can see how professional the team really is and what happens behind the scenes of the team. I also wouldn't mind the cameras sort of going through and having a look at what we're doing behind the scenes and all that sort of stuff. But right now, timing, we can't do it, but, it's something for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess, we've got so much happening, and it's hard to not be able to disclose anything. Like, I'm a leaker at heart, but, things are as serious as they are. You can't give anything away, unfortunately, because it's such big game we're playing, so it's hard to keep that quiet.
Yeah, it is. It is. All right. Well, let's move on to a little bit sort of outside of Metrix. Let's talk about the crypto space in general. What's really grabbing your attention there?
I think there's three things that grab my attention when I look at crypto. I do a lot of research at night, sort of trying to keep up with everything, but I think DeFi, you'd have to say, is massive, and you can't ignore it. And I think, as Elon Musk says, don't DeFi. That was a tweet that drove DeFi right up quickly, but I think that's true. You can't ignore DeFi, and it's where the exchanges are heading. It's where everything's heading, and you need to be on the forefront of that.
Yes.
I think NFTs, which we've mentioned, retail shops are going to be virtual reality. You can walk through and pick up a product and look at it in virtual reality and get it sent to your house.
Yeah.
I mean, if that can't excite you, then I don't know. But NFTs you can't ignore, even as they are now, just great artwork that you can hold and keep and sell. Where things are doubling every 4 weeks. So
yeah,
the NFTs, and then I guess the third one, which is the main one for me, is use case. I think if you on crypto now, it used to be in 2017. It was about a great website and a good white paper.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I think there's still a lot of that now. You look around and think, that's great white paper, but what have you actually built? And the answer's not much. So I think the real move now, this time around, is going to be into use case and who's actually built something and who's actually had those partnerships discussions. Or like, it's all good to say, we want to have partnerships with massive companies.
Mm-hmm.
But do you have someone on the ground going to that company and making a presentation that's capable of even getting an appointment with that company?
Yeah.
I find that very interesting. Is that use case is gonna, well, surely it has to come to the fore here, and people are going to realise and go, okay, I get there can't be 12,000 coins all trying to do something special. There's going to be 200 delivering amazing results. So I agree. That's absolutely, and that's where I sort of, those three things really interest me in crypto.
Yeah, great stuff. And what about yourself personally? Are you sort of looking at yourself for the next year or two in crypto, or is this something that's going to continue in your personal life?
Well, I think you'd have to say I'm a crypto for life, because hopefully I'm working in it for the rest of my working career, but I can't see a time where you don't ever own crypto again. From 2021, we'll look back at this video and even talk about not having crypto, in 2030 will just be absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
yes, true. I'm crypto for life, hopefully retiring, and hopefully you won't have me working from 7 a.m. to 4 a.m. like you do now. Give me a 3 hours a night. So yeah, I might have a bit more lifestyle in the future, but definitely always be in crypto. I think, as I say, it's going to change how you get your real estate contracts going to come through online and be signed on the blockchain, and when you order your car parts, you'll be able to verify it's a genuine car part on blockchain. Yeah. It's going
absolutely.
To say I'm going to jump out in a year's time, I think, very short-sighted.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough too. And what's your view on the previous coin swap that Metrix did last December, and how do you think that's changed Metrix?
I think, if you look at the technological side, we were just updating the chain constantly. We had 3 devs basically full time, just keeping up with the changes and trying to catch us back up. So I think if you look now at where Metrix is to where it was even pre-swap, the functionality and the ability to bring new items on and to keep up with technology, and even to keep up the new releases that Quantum do, it's just put us so far ahead. And I know it was a bit of a pain, and swapping's never fun, but it seems to be we started the trend, and everybody's having a little swap now, because they've all seen, if you want to keep up with this crypto, you need to keep up with crypto. And I guess that has really been the catalyst for us to be able to do what people will see in the next 6 months. Is this chain swap was key, and it took a lot of work, months of work behind the scenes, but man, it's going to deliver 100 times on what we could have done on the old chain.
Yeah, absolutely. And while we're on Metrix, I mean, what do you see for the next few quarters? What do you see coming out? I mean, obviously we've got the roadmap, a little bit more. How do you see the next few quarters panning out?
Well, I think it's that list I talked about earlier. It's really your exchange listing, NFT platform, GMG coming out very shortly, the payment gateway, which you won't let me talk about, partnerships. It's all of these things. That's all in the next 6 months. Like, that's not our roadmap for 5 years, 10 years. This is our 6 month roadmap, and that's what I find unbelievable. It's we're at that point now where everything's ready, and like it's just ready to hit, and you just think, wow, like we're not saying, oh, in 2024 we'd love to have an NFT platform. Like this is stuff that's been worked on for a year, quietly, secretly working away. Yep. And now we're ready, let's do it. And we just hit at the right time, hit that point where we're just ready.
Are you saying there's been some really good planning going into all this, and now we're delivering?
I'll give you too much credit. You have seen, like nobody else can, how this unrolls, and you have never worried about price. Not that I don't worry about price, but who cares what the price is today? Just have a plan, follow the plan, trust the plan. And what I see is people that don't trust the plan, they jump out. They don't see it, and now we're at the point where you go, well, that plan really rolled out, didn't it? So I've got to give you credit there, mate.
Thank you. I've always found the long game's better. You've planned the long game and then just look at it like a marathon, but then sprint the marathon. And that's why you got those big hours that you work at.
Yeah, I'm in the marathon. I don't know what part I'm in now, but it feels like a sprint.
Good to hear. Well, we better wrap this up pretty soon. We're going a bit over time. So I guess let me hand it back to you. Like, is there anything else you'd like to add? Any other ideas? Anything you'd like to talk about?
I just think we have to thank everyone who's come with this journey, and you see it every day in Discord. Someone like I've held for 3 years, and they've trusted the plan. They could have easily jumped off at any point in that 3 years. So we've got to thank the community, and we do have, I think, one of the strongest communities in crypto, and you see that in when the competitions that matter come up, and we say, okay, jump on this, and they'll tweet their hearts out. And I think we do have a really caring community. You can see that in the new Rainbot that came out that you worked on. The amount that they give out, it's like, mate, that's worth a bit now, settle down. But we have to thank the community because they're generous, they care, and the people, I don't want to single too many people out because so many people have worked on things over the last few years, but, without Nibbles, we wouldn't be anywhere near where we're at now. Funky and every day answering support tickets. Yep. I mean, I got to thank yourself for coming on board when I told you it'd be 10 hours a week max. I pulled you off
6 to 10 hours. I said 6 to 10 hours.
Hours is all we need, mate. And you jumped on, and without any asking, you've just jumped in. I think you're doing 7 days a week now because you're always online anytime I have a question, anytime we want to work on something, you're there. Yep. So I've got to thank you for that, personally. Because you've made this work, and Luca, who's doing all the business stuff, there's just too many people to name each person, but they know who they are, and I'm amazed that they all just stuck with it and just trusted the plan, when you're super subsats. But no one cared. No one in that group cared that we were subsats because we all trusted the plan and we just went with it.
That's it. Yeah. All we did was we set a solid foundation. We went through a building phase, and the community saying, oh, price is up, price is down, price is all over the place. And I just kept saying, don't look at price, ignore it. We're not worried about price. What we're worried about is building a foundation. And once we build this solid foundation, then we can leverage off it. And that's the stage we're in now. And Q3 and 4 of last year was building this foundation. Q1 of this year was finalising that. And now we're in this rapid growth phase. Like, we are growing. Everyone's going to see more and more people jumping on the team, the community growing, the products growing, the deliverables coming. I mean, look at the roadmap. People had to go at me saying, that's ridiculous. Why put out something so ambitious? I said, well, why not? It's setting the bar. We're going to raise the bar. We're going to raise it higher. And what we've actually done, I don't know if the community have noticed, but some of the roadmap items from Q3 and Q4, we've already started working on. Some of them we've already finished. We're not mucking around here.
No, exactly. It's like, now what else can we add to that roadmap? Like, we're starting to look at new things to add in. So, when that came out, you're like, oh, that's like eating an elephant, but just one bite at a time. We can beyond eat elephant. We can eat a whole pack of elephants.
Absolutely. That's a herd.
A pack of wolves? Can we eat a pack of wolves?
Yeah, very good. All right, buddy, we better wrap that up. Thanks heaps for being the first person in the hot seat. I think you've done a brilliant job. I think you've set the bar pretty high for everyone else to do. So,
I know, mate.
we'll
I've
get
seen
these
some
other
of these
persons.
names. I'm a bit worried. I'm gonna not live up to who's coming up on this show, but excited to see how this show unravels over the next little bit, because just being able to talk to some of these guys and girls and find out their inner thoughts is impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. And just so everyone knows, I'm not going to be the host of all this. Most of the team's going to get involved in this, doing the interviews. So you don't just see me all the time. You get to see Chris doing some, you get to see some of the other guys as well. So it's going to be exciting. So, guys, that's Blockchain Chronicles, Series 1, Episode 1. So we'll see where it goes from here. Thanks for your time, Chris.
Thanks for your time, buddy. Cheers, guys.
Good idea. See you guys. Cheers.